5 ways to make money out of commercial real estate. Today in my video, I'm going to cover with you the top 5 ways investors right now, those savvy investors out there who are investing in commercial property, who are jumping gun from residential to commercial property, are making money hand over fist, right? And they're really, really simple ways, and you can learn them and implement them through this video. Stay all the way to the end. I'm going to give you the top tip and how you can easily set yourself up for more and more profits, that you can pull out more and more money out of this property in years to come using this one simple strategy. My name is Helen Tarrant. I help everyday Australians become wealthy through investing in commercial real estate by building out a pathway, a blueprint where you can know how in detail you can get to cash flow, growth, and uplift in your investment journey. So if you want to find out more, click the link below, booking for that free strategy session. But also make sure we actually do have an upcoming free boot camp that I want you to attend. I'm going to share with you all the strategies in commercial property that you should be learning if you really want to profit through commercial real estate. So make sure you join us there. So let's get started. 5 ways to make money out of commercial real estate. The number one way is cash flow. So if you're a lazy investor, let's say you're really, really busy, right? And you're at the moment might be working as for a high level, like say you're a doctor, you're a surgeon, or you're a partner in a law firm, or maybe you just work for someone who is like me, who works all the time, who enjoys and loves to work, but you're working 60, 80 hours a week and you just don't have time to look after investments. Commercial property is really good for this, for making you side cash flow. It's like a little side hustle you don't have to take care of, and that is passive income. So cash flow from commercial real estate. Yes, in this day and age, you can still get cash flow. You can still get 6.5%, 7% yield in your real estate investment through commercial property. That gives you instant cash flow the day you buy it and settle on that property. So you sit back and you get cash flow 5, 10, 50,000, depending on how much the property price that you bought in it and how much deposit you're putting into the mix. So that's really simple. It's just simply money coming in, which is the net rent income, because in commercial property, everything's traded on net. Your tenant pays all the outgoings, you pay the bank, and the rest is for you to keep. So there's a pile of money called passive income. Number one, simplest way. Number 2 is capital gains. Now, in the last 12 months, we've seen, even with the interest rate rises, we have seen that commercial property continue to rise by 5 to 7% in terms of its value growth, which means that while residential is stagnant, commercial properties continue to grow in value, which means that you can sit back, relax, get your cash flow from the number one way making positive cash, from your number one way of making money in commercial property to the number 2 way where you sit back at capital growth in a couple of years, refinance against that, pull out that equity that you've built and buy again. So you simply sit back as an armchair investor and continue to grow your wealth that way. These are the 2 really simple ways. If you're a really busy professional, you can still get passive income and growth in your commercial property. That's how you make money passively. Now, number 3 is when it becomes a little bit more active. So if you have a bit of a spare time, so maybe a day free out of your week, or maybe 2 afternoons free, you can implement this strategy, and that's value add. Value add is, for example, you've got a commercial property right now that is not perfect. So instead of having a 5-year lease to a dentist or a vet or allied health in a strata complex or a freestanding building, you might have a property that is a little bit more run down, a property that needs to be tidied up, maybe a tenant on a short lease, maybe a tenant that's been there for a long time but haven't paid market rent, but they need a total refurb, they need new air conditioning, or they may need a cool room installed, whatever it is, they may need flooring done, whatever they need done, you're doing it so that they can increase the rent, or you can increase the lease term so that you get more value out of this property. What does that mean? It means you're buying in at a lower price. By the time you do the refurbishment, you change the lease, the value has grown, but so has your cash flow. So that's the number 3 way, but that takes someone who's a little bit more active, who has at least about a day or 2 half days off during the week to attend to it. And it's only project based, because once it's done, and you can go back to your work and let this property run on passively. So that's number 3. Number 4 is getting more tenants. What does that mean? Right? What does getting more tenants mean? It means, for example, you have a premise, a very large premise that your current tenant does not fulfill the need of. So let's say your tenant has a whole floor space of office space. This is where I love office space and retail spaces, because you can do it so much easier with office spaces and retail space in comparison to industrial, right? Industrial, very hard to divide up. A warehouse, access, roller doors, where the office, where the aircon, all of these things are much, much harder, right? Especially with the roof being so high, all your fire and compliance, right? But retail and office, you can do that. You get a large premise, 500 square meters. Your tenant at the moment might be renting the whole premise, but go to them and say to them, hey, would you like to only take 250? I can cut up the other 250 into little lots of 50 and charge more rent. And therefore, not only have I added value add, But the key to it is that I got more tenants. More tenants means more security in the future. If one tenant wants to leave, I'm never going to be short of a tenant to pay my mortgage and give me passive income. More tenants, but also more tenants that pay more money. More tenants that are higher level tenants. So for example, you're swapping out a mum and dad tenant who might be running a takeaway shop with a Subway, right? A different type of tenant makes the property grow in value, but also in the fact that the cash flow and security is also there. So adding more tenants. So a couple of ways to do that quickly is, for example, mezzanine floors inside a warehouse. You need to get compliance with strata engineering, of course, but a mezzanine floor to help your tenants store stock. They could pay more rent because of that. You could put container storage on land. So if you already have a property that has a lot of land and your tenants are using the parking space, but not all of them, maybe you can put 2 or 3 containers up there that give you additional income. Create more lettable areas. So let's say you have a restaurant tenant, but they need an alfresco dining. You can do an extension for them. Or you could perhaps have a building that has the front part being used by a retail tenant, but the back part might have a shed that you can convert into a bigger warehouse for a different type of tenant if you have rear end access, right? So these are the simple things you can add more tenants, but also there's other value add ways to add more tenant, which is simply like your telcos on the top of your roof, your ATMs or your solars, right? They're all about having different types of tenants in there, different streams of income. So the fourth strategy is about having different streams of income coming into your commercial property so that you always safeguard it and you're always going to make more money, more cash flow and more value, right? And then, of course, we come to our final one, which is number 5. It's the ultimate money maker in the commercial space. Don't forget, if you do want these strategies implemented, make sure you click the link below and book in for that free strategy call and subscribe and hit the bell so that you know when every one of my videos comes up, because I can help you build financial freedom in the next 12 months through a commercial property. All you have to do is book in for that strategy session and, of course, attend one of our latest boot camps and events. So what is the number 5 strategy? Number 5 strategy is about change of use. Now, a lot of people don't realize the change of use means that you can actually get a better quality tenant, but also the value of your property can actually double. So for example, you have a property that's in a residential zone, but it's been used for commercial, right? Because historically it's been used for commercial. So let's say that originally it's very near the town center. So you're going to find these properties in regional and metro very close to the town center. They might be near a hospital. They might be near a shopping strip, or you find them all around suburbia. It doesn't have to be in regional areas. They might be used to be an old industrial area that's converted now to more residential. So it's now having residential zoning. However, it's been used for commercial, so historically it's been used commercial, or it might have mixed zoning allowing for commercial or residential. Now, at the moment, it might be occupied by a residential property, or it might have a commercial tenant that's not doing a lot. Now, changing that use, you could take a residential property, convert it into a childcare. You could take a residential property and convert it into a medical center, a dentist, surgery, a vet clinic. All of those things are really high-end, top of the level tenants, which is going to deliver you better in terms of cash flow, better in terms of value growth, and also better utilization of that space as well. So the backyard space, the front yard space will be converted to car park. So that change of use actually changes the value of your property. That also means that you could take a residential property, take it into commercial, a warehouse property, make it into an office or retail. Now, the latest trends that I'm seeing as the industrial areas are being pushed out because of the urban sprawl in the areas that are nearer to the CBD, so Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane, like within the 10K or even 15K radius, a lot of those industrial areas have been pushed out further into 30, 50, 70 kilometers if you're in Sydney, right? It's because those land value have gone up and simply your industrial tenants just cannot afford it. Because let's look at it. Industrial tenants pay around $200 to $300 a square meter. Your retail tenants pay triple that. They pay like $800 to $1,000 a square meter in really high density areas. Your office space tenant pays somewhere around $600 a square meter. So the better use of a warehouse space may be to actually convert it to office, right? To office space, that industrial sheet. You can often, because of the height in an industrial warehouse, build 2 or 3 stories in actual warehouses. So that means you can actually have 2 or 3 different tenants, or one large tenant that loves the design and layout of it, or you could actually build it into self-storage as well. So there's actually multiple ways if you change the use of your current property to something that suits the modern need or the need of the area. You could benefit from additional increases in multiple streams of cash flow, but also the value actually jumps because you're utilizing for the best use that it is now, right? Which means that it pays to buy something that's in the wrong space, being used wrongly, and then be smart enough to think outside the box, having a team behind you to be able to convert that into something that's high performing, which means you can literally triple your money in that process, right? Triple your money in that process because you're getting 3 times as much rent, you're getting the value out of a different type of tenant, and also that demand, which gives you the trifecta effect. So if you can find that, that's the diamond in the rough, and that's the key to making exponential profits in commercial. Again, if you want help in that area, or if this video has resounded with you and you need it in practice, do comment below, do engage with us, join one of our live events, and let us help you build financial freedom through commercial property. My name is Helen Tarrant, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.